Night Music Wednesday NesMaker tutorial. Night Music Wednesday NesMaker tutorial.
Alright, part 2. We're continuing where we left off. So we're going to edit the warp to show your up button press. Tiles. And then we're looking for the warp to screen that we named our project. In the tiles warp to screen for our project, first it checks if it's the player. If it's the player, it does this. If it's not the player, it does this. Very bottom. So it skips it if it's like a monster or a projectile or something like that. Okay, then checks your game state. If your game state's 3, it's the overworld map that we're doing. So if you're not using that, you can just not worry about that. So then it would check your input. I wrote check a input. That comes from here. If you're on the overworld map, that checks a input. You warp on a input on the overworld map. But when you're not on the overworld map, we're going to make it so this is your normal warp. Gamepad checks for the up bit. Then it does the warp. If you're not pressing up, it does the same thing it would do for if you're not the player, if you're a monster or whatever. So it just wouldn't do anything. But if it is, then it warps you. So it checks the up and then it warps. All this other stuff, I just put the user screen byte in there if somebody's using a user screen byte to use for stuff. This is an example. If you had like the user screen byte to warp you and you wanted to use the user screen byte at a certain number, then it could be like the 0 screen byte. Does this, does 1, does 2, does 3, and this is where it would warp, etc. It's just an example. You don't have to. It's just in there. It's in my script. But anyway, so basically you're just checking for the player. And then if it's that, it would normally either do the game state check or you would just do your this could be right here. So you wouldn't need this. You would just copy this to here. And then that would be your gamepad, or you just wouldn't use this. And you would just be using this. And all this could be, you don't need this. Oh, that's for the A button. So if you want to warp on the A button, you could do that. Or it's just going to go and check for that. And if you're not on that game state, it's just going to go down here and do the normal warp. On normal screen, it does this. If you want to, hold on 1 second. Alright, if you want to, you could be like, okay, so you're on normal screen. You can make it say can warp normal screen. Or it goes to can warp check. Right, and then can warp normal would be can warp check. And then you do check for the game, the screen flag. And then if it is, it's not the shop, it's the shop. So it's not the shop. It's just a normal warp. So if you want to have like an NPC or a monster trigger it, you could have something like that too. You just gotta change it around the screen or something. But yeah, this will be so if we wanted on a normal screen to do that, you do something like this. So then if it is the shop screen, and then if it's not the shop screen, it just does a normal warp. If it is the shop screen, it's going through all this. If it isn't the shop screen, it just does a normal warpity warp. Anyway, make sure you save that. We could test that in our game. Here's our shop screen. I'm on it. I'm pressing A. Nothing's happening. I press up, and then you warp. There's our little cutscene I put in there to happen after we warp. Now look, we can test that this is happening because we can do the opposite. Now if you're on a shop screen, it just warps when you touch it. And then that makes it warp when you press A. Or up. A is on the overworld map. This would do when you warp when you press up. Anyway, so we can keep that in there. We don't have to take anything out. You could leave it in there. You could take it out. Um, you don't need the check in there if you're gonna warp on every screen with the up button. Like some games it's just extra. Some games you don't need it. For now, just keep it in there. Right, so multi-tiles. So this is for like tile 14. Tile 14. I'm gonna use a multi-tile. So player object is player. This is what happens. It's not player. That's what happens. In the multi-tiles I wrote in, and I explained in the previous video, special 10, special 11, 12, 13, etc. And those are located this is 14, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I put on there. And then this is the 15. So this will be 20, 21, 22, 23, all the way to 27. To make sure you have the tile activated, we would have done the user screen bytes tutorial, and you could activate it there, and then you take this script I will include this script with these edits in here, and you put that multi-tile 0 and multi-tile 1. You could rename it multi-tile 14, multi-tile 15, something like that. I use 0 and 0, 1. It's just my preference. So then what we're doing here is this is what you're supposed to include for it. And then these would be the this is 15. So this is tile 14. Anyway, so you check it, special 10. Alright, so this is now checking, is it a shop screen like we were doing on the previous with the warp? It's going to check if it's a shop screen. If it's a shop screen, does the shop screen. If it's not the shop, does this stuff. So okay, say we're on a normal screen. What is this tile going to do? Not on a shop screen, but on a normal screen, I want it to give me money. So it's going to load your cash. It's going to check. You got 90. Okay, that's high. So check 10. You got 80. That's high. Check 10, etc. All the way through. It's just double checking that you have the right amount. If it goes too high, it's going to overflow and then reverse and do all some crazy stuff. So I put all these in here, and then it adds cash. Goes to adds cash. Make sure. Loading my cash. 9. So there's your nines place. I misspoke in the beginning. So it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, etc. So this is giving 5. So we want to make sure we don't overflow. So 4, you can add cash. If you're going over, then you don't want to. You want to make sure that your math is right. So if you say you're doing, it gives like 10 cash, first of all, you change this to 1. And then you change this to 1. So this would be like 10 cash would be like right like this. Anyway, 5 cash is like this. So if you're doing like 10 cash or something, you would have to make sure that you didn't go over like 89 would be the max. Yeah, for each thing that's going to give you. So if you're even giving yourself 1, you got to make sure that you don't have 99 when you're giving yourself that 1. You could have anything but 99 then, because you're only getting 1 at a time. Once you hit the 99, you're like, yo, I can't get any more. Stop giving me any more. So you got to make sure you tell it to stop giving you more. You're like, hey, hey, hey there. So right here it's saying, hey, 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 you can add this last time. But after this, let's double check and make sure this isn't 9. If this is 90, you can't have 95. You can have 85, but you can't have 95. So is it 90? If it is, it's too high. Got that? It's checking. It's never going to check on 4 for me because I'm only doing 5. If you're doing adding 10, it would be like checking on 9 to make sure that the 9 wasn't a 9. And then you'd be good. Any other number would be fine. Because you could have 8. That would be fine. Because what you're going to have? 90. You're going to have. Oh, wait. Yeah, you can't on that. But we would be checking the 10s anyway. If you were checking the 1s, any of these would not work. Basically. Because it would go over. So 9 would be automatically like we're checking. we're checking the tens, we're checking the ones, etc. Um, so like for example, if you were having a higher check on something, it was like, okay, say something costs, um, or you're gonna give yourself like one coin. All you'd have to do to check for one coin was and then because eight's never gonna go over, you would hit nine, and then after that, it doesn't do anything. So eight would always add cash. But this would check your tens digit then, and then you would go and check that. That's when you're adding two. Now, if you were adding 10 to something, you would want to do the reverse. You'd want to go check your tens, and you want to make sure right here it's like, oh, it's not, it's high, then just check your cash. And you'd have to write like a check cash out. 8 would be add cash. It's high, check cash. So then you load up the cash. Um, no, you literally just, sorry. It's 9, you would literally just not even bother checking your cash. It would be that easy. Say it's 10. Well, you can't add 10 when you got 90 already. Oops. And 80, you can add it to 89, so you'd be fine. So it would be even easier. You just boom, you don't add it. So you just go to jump done. So if say you were adding 10 right here, you would put that's it. You wouldn't need any of that. But say if you were adding 10, you would just do that. You would do this and delete all that part. And then that would be like, okay, so it's checking that, done, add cash. It's done, it's not going to do anything. It's going to add cash. That's it. It's not even going to have to check anything because it was like 10 it was adding. Anyway, we can do different values for different things, but for now, I have it this way. So what it's doing is it's checking. If 99 is too high. This is adding 5. So 95 you can't add anymore because it's adding 5. It would be 100. 96 you can't add anymore. 97 you can't add anymore. 99 you can't add anymore, etc. But 94 you could because it would be 99. So in 90, you know what I mean? Any number under 4 automatically is going to work. So you can check that. Um, on a normal screen, it would do that. So we have here, it's a normal screen setup. Got my multi-tile 14s. Right. Put it there, put it there, put it there. Screen info. buy life for 25 cash is what it's going to be, or it's going to be just cash. Since it's default, I used it as cash for the default. So on a normal screen, or any screen that's not a shop screen, it's going to add 5 cash. Oh, jeez, did I not even put a solid there for that? Silly. Yeah. Oops. Anyway, I could show you in a moment again. Can't have any more than 5 in my game. Can't buy another life because I don't got 25 coins. Oh, look at that, it did something. And it aired out that part too, so that's pretty weird. Probably because of collision or something. Um, yeah, so the buying the life part, we're in that script right now, so I could double check what's wrong with that part of the script. Yesterday I ended up fixing a little bit in there too, so, right. It's adding the cash, so that's cool. Now, if you're in a shop screen, it's checking for the A button, sure, it's doing that. But if after that it's checking your cash, oh, if you don't have enough money, yeah, that's what we checked. We changed yesterday. Okay. So it's not enough cash. It's checking your money. 30 would be enough for something that's 25 because I'm making it cost 25 for life. So 30 is enough. 20 is maybe not enough. So it might be 29, might be 25. So it's possibly enough. Check cash. If not, um, it's gonna do this. Um, yeah. So if you have, you know, um, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not enough. Yeah, not enough goes to that. It's confusing because I put not enough cash, and then I put it's enough money. Anyway, so 2 could be enough. Check the cash. Is it not enough? It's not enough. It should have just jumped to not player. It shouldn't have subtracted the money if you didn't have it. Oh, but you know what? It probably just reset the tile. So where is it resetting the tile? Regardless of whether you step on it or not, it always resets it. Yep. Yeah. So when it jumps to done, it resets the tile. So when you don't have enough money, there we go. Now if you don't have enough money, you hold on. Sorry, that was the dog. If you don't have enough money, it should, no, it's not buying it if you don't have enough money. But then if you do have enough money, hold on, I'll, get that. If you do have enough money, you got 26, it's 25. Buys it, now you only got one left. It did it again. It didn't give it to you, but it did it again. Buys it. Still did it when I pressed A. Wait, hold on. Oh, because I'm jumping it done. Hold on. Just gonna do this. That's a lot easier. I totally don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Alright, sorry about having to fix that code and sorry about the doggy thing. So anyway, what the code is doing is checking then three, it's checking your 10th place. 3. Do you have 30? Yeah, that's enough. 2, well, it could be 29, 25, 28, etc. So if it's 25, it's enough. It's under 25, it's not the player it should jump to because then it just doesn't. It's the same as not enough. Um, Not players all the way bottom. Here, that one right there. Um, okay, it is enough money. Go in here to my lives. Checking my lives. Checking if you have 9 lives. If you have 9 lives like a cat, it's not going to do anything. It's going to go to the plus. plus not player. My lives, update HUD element 2, etc. It should check my lives first again, just like the other thing. Because if you don't have my lives, then it can't do that anyway. But anyway, I don't think it matters because um, if it doesn't have it, then it's jumping to that player anyway. So it's not going to get rid of it. Increase my lives. You have 8, now you have 9. Cool. Update the HUD element. That's where the HUD element is for your lives. Subtracting. Remember, my cache in mine has 2 places, the singles and then the tens place, because it goes up to 99. Subtracting 2 from my cache, or the 2 place my cache, it's subtracting 2 from the tens place, 2-digit my cache, subtracting 5 from the singles place. Update HUD element 6. Something like that. And then after updating it, jumps to done. Yeah, so BQ jump to not player. Checks a special tile. We didn't have anything added in here for these ones. We can make it do different things, like add a single, or add 10, or on here be a different item or something instead. Obviously you can only have one 14 tile at a time per screen, so this would be your 14 would be plus life. Say you wanted to add score, trade cash for score, you know, trade in your old cash for new score. And you could do that and then have it be your 15 tile. And then your 15 tile could do that, or you could have one of your current tiles, even a hurt tile. You could have a hurt tile add score on these shop screens because we're using this flag. You could just check this flag, and if this flag is active, it can do an entirely different thing than what it would do on a normal screen. And yeah, it's almost mimicking what this would do without having to change around your inputs too much. We're just nullifying the jump and the attack because we choose to. You could still have jump on here. It's weird when you have your jump active and then you pick up something, you're jumping whenever you pick up something. Change it, instead of jump action or animation or whatever, it could be something else. So that way when you hit the button, you pick something, you smile or wave it at the player or something like that. Your character can wave at you or something. Does a sound effect only when you're on these screens and you press the button. But you don't have to do that in your inputs. You could do that right here, the tile. Just have it play a sound effect or something. Something like that could work. Right, so I also have it so if you're checking 17, set to do the same exact thing. I just was fucking around with it or messing around with it at that time. Oops. Yeah, so it's a lot of funk in there, and I had to fix it. So I got all that funk out. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, 17 is 17. Jump to done. You can also just see it's right here is 16. Check 17. Is 17. It is 17. Jump to done. Or not. Well, jump to done anyway. So it just jumps to done. Changes the tile. So maybe we don't want to change the tile, but yeah, I have it so it's by default just changes the tile for you on just any old number. So like if I was to put this on this screen, just pick a random number, 5. When you get these, it'll do absolutely nothing except make the tile disappear. Any number except for what we set up basically goes to that done, which done is not default. It just means it zeroes out the tile. It makes it a null. So anyway, that's how I have these tiles set up. I'm going to include this tile in with the downloads, and I can include the warp to screen in with the downloads too. Alright, thank you for watching the video and have a great day.